Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. So today's topic is a trainer education, and we're going to discuss living the standard you expect. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story here to start out. And in the past, I've been a personal trainer now for 17 years. Yeah, 17 years. And I've worked with well over 1,000 people. I actually stopped counting. Once you got to 1,000, there was kind of no point. That was impressive enough, I guess. So, but I've been doing this for a long time. And in that time, I've been exposed to a lot of realities that other people have to live through that I haven't experienced myself. And in those moments, when you're exposed to something like that you don't really have personal experience with, and you're trying to like sympathize with somebody, you can say the right things, but it's hard to really know kind of like what they're feeling. And you can still have some kind of like disconnect in those moments. So you say the right things, but you don't really, you don't really know the meaning of them. You just know they're kind of the right thing to say. And in the past, I've had clients who would tell me that they'd miss a workout, and it would actually be due to an anxiety or like a panic attack. So they would drive to the gym, they'd pull into the parking lot, and they'd see there was a lot of cars. They would see some people moving around in the gym, and they just kind of start freaking out a little bit. Maybe it's not their scene, they're not normal gym goer. Maybe they're still learning on what to do. Maybe they're self-conscious about the way that they look. There's a lot of reasons why people can kind of be scared of crowded places, and especially a crowded gym. And when we would talk after that, like the next time I'd see them, I'd say, how'd the workout go? They'd tell me they missed it, and they'd explain a little bit about why. And I'd always say the right thing, say like, oh, I'm sorry you dealt with that. We can catch a workout next time. Don't worry about it. Da 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 da. But in my head, I'd always be thinking like, really? You couldn't just go in and do like a little something something? You couldn't just walk on the treadmill, or you couldn't go home and at least do a workout at home? So I would say the right things, and it wasn't like I promise it wasn't that I was dismissing the problems they were having. I just didn't relate. And I wasn't sure how they couldn't kind of work around it, maybe. And last year, I actually experienced kind of my first ever anxiety attack. And they suck. They are not fun. Holy freaking crap, are they horrible. So your body basically just betrays you. Even in like now that I've been used to them or gotten like a feel of them, your mind can say all the right things. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? You're totally fine. What are you doing? Why are you freaking out? And but yet your body just feels uncomfortable. I don't know how to explain it except for you just want to get out of your body, which can't be done. But your body just feels uncomfortable. Like I usually start like rubbing my arms and rubbing my skin. You're trying to like create, I guess, sensations of something different. And you just get panicky, you can't catch your breath, you get really hot and sweaty, you feel overwhelmed, and you just kind of like freak out a little bit. And actually just talking about it right now is freaking me out. but but it's something that once I felt it, then I realized, holy freaking crap, that's what my clients felt. No wonder they wouldn't be able to go into the gym. I can barely sit in the car and breathe right now, let alone try to go work out. And it made it a more realistic connection with my clients. So I still hold them to a high standard. I still want them to be their best. I still want myself to be my best. But now I understand what it feels like. And I can better relate to them and have a realistic expectation of what the standard that we should accept is. So, for example, if I have a client who has anxiety, we have to accept the fact that if they have an anxiety attack, they're going to miss that workout. Now, we can come up with rules where maybe the next day, if they feel better, they can get 2 workouts in, or do something like an extra activity of some sort. We can create things around it, but you now know for a fact that when that thing comes up, that is not a thing that we can just brush aside. It's not a thing that they can just overcome, if they pray really hard or think about it really hard. Sometimes, like the chemical reaction of a panic attack is something you can't reason your way out of. And that sets an expectation and a standard that's realistic and appropriate for that person. So experiencing anxiety helped me better relate to my clients. It helped me have a more realistic connection. So, like I said, we still set high standards, but we set standards that are appropriate for them, that are achievable for them. So, as a trainer, what do you expect from your clients? What's the standard that you expect from your clients? What do you ask from them? Also, if you're not a trainer, and even if you are a trainer, just think of the general population, your friends and family, the people around you, co-workers, yada, yada, yada. What do you expect from them? What's the standard that you expect from other people? Okay. Now, in the gym, there's a standard that I expect as an owner. So when I use the workout, like when I use the gym for my own workouts, the number one rule of our gym is do not bother Rob while he's working out. Sometimes people still violate that rules because they think they're special, but for the most part, it helps me because it gives me my peace and quiet, and it gives me my time to enjoy the thing that I work all damn day for without being interrupted and asked questions whenever I spend the other 23 hours of the day asking questions. So it's nice for me to have that quiet time when I'm in the gym. So when I'm in the gym, I put everything away, but I'm not a very friendly person. So I barely nod to people, and a lot of people, even when you say hi, even though you have headphones in, you say hi, they still want to say something to you. So I avoid even saying hello to certain people because they don't know how to not talk back. And it makes me a complete jerk. So I walk around the gym. I put everything away that I touch. The gym looks the same when I leave as when I arrived. But I'm not friendly. It would not be a good environment if everyone in our gym was like me. We would have a very organized gym, but there would be no sense of community. There would be no sense of friendship. I mean, I am not the nicest person when I work out. It actually has nothing to do with me being mean. It's just I don't want to, like, whether someone was in the room or not, it wouldn't change anything about what I was doing. So there's no connection to other people. Then you have like people who come in and they're super friendly. They make a great environment. They build the camaraderie and the culture of the gym, but they only put half their shit away. And no matter how many times you tell them, they're completely oblivious to the things that they don't do. So that's the way it works. Now, which of those is really better? Am I doing quote unquote the right thing by putting the equipment away, but being not very friendly and not talking to anybody? Or are they doing the right thing by being friendly, creating a good, fun, excited culture and environment, but they're kind of messy and they don't put everything away? In those scenarios, we don't make the same mistakes, but we each make mistakes, myself included. So I could judge on them all I wanted for not putting their equipment away, but they could judge on me for being, a quiet jerk who sits in the corner and never talks to anybody. So just because we don't make the same mistakes doesn't mean we each don't make our own mistakes. And that's something that's really important for all of us to consider. Is what is the standard that we expect from other people? Do we live it ourselves? Maybe we don't make the same mistakes they make, and we can often judge them for their mistakes. But 99.999% of the time, and I'm going to say 100% because you're not Jesus, you're going to make mistakes. Everyone is human. Everybody makes mistakes. So we don't make the same mistakes as other people, but we do make our own mistakes. So think about this. If you're a trainer and you would say, I don't know why people ever miss workouts. It's bull crap. You should always be able to get your workouts in. Well, track your own. So get an app on your phone. So I talk about this all the time in podcasts, as I have an app on my phone called Goal Tracker. And it's a calendar. And for each day you get a check, an X, or a blank. Now, I don't leave any blank because you either did the thing or you didn't do the thing. There's no bullshit excuses. You get a check or an X. And nowhere on the app is there a way to write an excuse. There's no notes. There's no nothing. We either did it or you didn't do it. No option otherwise. I love that Because when it comes to working out, you only get the results of the workouts you do. You could have the best freaking reason in the world for why you missed that workout, but you will get no results. None. Zero. If you miss that workout. So it doesn't matter why you missed it. If you missed it, you missed it. So that's what you can do, is track it. Use a tracker and see how often you make your workouts. You might do pretty damn good. So I've trained every single day for over a year, several times in my life. I actually have a really good friend, Paul, if you're listening to this, who has, I believe, well over a year now, just crushing away at life and doing an awesome job of working out every single day. So I've done it before for very long times, but still, there's been times where I've struggled, especially when I went through that anxiety stuff. Holy crap, was that hard to work out. But in 20 years, I have only ever taken 2 full weeks off of training, 7 days. That's it. So in 20 years, I've only ever taken, and those were at separate times. So it wasn't even 2 weeks in a row. It was 1 week at one point in time in my life where I didn't work out. And that was after a powerlifting meet when I had really bad inflammation. And I actually threw up twice that week trying to work out. So I couldn't work out. The other time was actually when I experienced anxiety and stress for the first time. I just couldn't find motivation to do it. Every time I'd try to work out, if I put my headphones in, I'd feel claustrophobic and I'd freak out, which sounds ridiculous and stupid now, but at the time it didn't matter. I still didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel motivated. There was just nothing there to push myself through the moment. So I have missed 7 consecutive days, twice in 20 years. But I'll still be the first person to tell you that my training is not perfect. You know, I might plan to do it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. All of a sudden, you know, you miss Monday, you do it Tuesday evening rather than Tuesday morning. You try to like make up for it and do an awesome workout on Wednesday. You miss Thursday and Friday. All of a sudden you're doing push-ups and sit-ups on Saturday just to count something. So that's the way it goes. That's reality, by the way. That's how things really happen. So if you think you're so perfect, track what you do. And see if you actually live to the standard that you're asking other people. Do the same with your food. Maybe you're great at working out, but you're horrible with nutrition, or vice versa. So track something you're not good at. Okay? Think, do you do well with avoiding gossip? Do you do well with not getting angry at other people and lashing out or saying inappropriate things or things you don't really mean? Do you have a bad habit of blaming others for things that you yourself should control? Think of something that you are not good at and start tracking your behaviors towards correcting it. So gain control over your life. Raise your own standard in a challenged area of your life. And through experiencing that challenge, you will learn what it feels like for other people to experience their challenges. Okay? So I have a close one in my life, a loved one, who struggles to get into the regular rhythm of working out. And for a long time, like I would say the right things, and you'd understand they had a lot of things going on. But at the same time, you'd be like, you know what, just 5 minutes a day of stretching. You know, or 5 minutes a day of just some bodyweight squats, push-ups, sit-ups, whatever. Just moving around. You can't even do 5 minutes a day? And you would just seem kind of confused. And it was like the whole anxiety thing. Like you'd say the right things, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, what the hell? Like, why can't they just do that? Why can't they just do a little bit? And so I challenged myself to try to think of, okay, what is something that I am not good at in my life? At being like, if I want them to get into a good regular rhythm of doing a certain thing a few times a week or a certain schedule of something. And I said, okay, what am I not good at scheduling myself? And I've talked about this before, and my dad hates that I'm not good at this, but I'm not good at taking care of my car very well. So I don't always keep my car clean. It kind of gets me from point A to B. There's no animals running around in it. There's nothing growing. But every once in a while, there's, a couple empty drink containers, a crumbled up piece of paper here or there. I don't vacuum it except for like maybe once a month. So there's some dirt in there. So I started telling myself is okay, well, let me get into a regular basis of trying to clean my car. So I've been trying to like look over my car, make sure it looks presentable once a week. And I figured if I get good at that, I could maybe bump it to twice a week. But I wanted to challenge myself in an area that I was not disciplined and see if I could overcome that and make changes. Now, you can guess where I'm going with this is because by me challenging myself to grow in a weak area, I could use the motivation and the lessons that I learned to improve my adherence in that area. I could use that motivation and lessons to help other people. But I could also use the experience of the struggle to empathize with other people and have a better balance of what's realistic to expect of other people when they're going through their struggles and challenges. So I had another client one time. They were in a custody battle for their kids, and at one point in time they couldn't see their kids for a month. I believe it was a month. It might have actually been a little bit longer than a month. And for a parent to not be able to see your children would have to be one of the hardest freaking things you'll ever experience in your life. I have no clue, and I hope I never have to imagine that or get the feel of it. I mean, they didn't lose themselves entirely, which was awesome. So they dove into training and nutrition. So they tried to train every day as a way to kind of work out frustration, work out emotions. And they told me several times they would just break down crying in the middle of their workouts. They tried to do really good with their food, but was often kind of missing meals, and like through the depression, they weren't super duper hungry. And due to this, they weren't getting the greatest of results. So they had super high stress, really questionable sleep. Their food was hit or miss, but they thought they were eating really clean, and they were training every day. And they asked why weren't they getting results? Now, this is rough because as a trainer, my job is to tell them the truth. Okay, truth first, friend second. So I told them, I said, hey, if you're not getting sleep, that's when your body is fixing and repairing itself. So if you're only getting, 3 to 5 hours a night, and that's intermittent laced with crying and, having spells of just staring at the ceiling and wondering what the hell's going on in life, you're not getting great recovery. Your body's not going to be able to make a lot of changes. And if you're missing out on food, it's lowering your metabolism. It's kind of slowing everything down. And again, you're not going to get great changes. But in that moment, it was everything they could do to just do the job that they were doing there. To get in the training, to get in some of the food, to get in some of the sleep. So they didn't get great results. And we ended up parting ways as a client in trainer. And that was kind of a bummer because the trainer and me understood exactly why they weren't getting results. But the friend in me understood that they were pushed to their limit and they weren't going to be able to do any better at the moment. So they left and they wanted to try something different, try something else. And I didn't stay in super touch with what they went and did, but I'm assuming it was a shit ton of cardio and still less food. So probably didn't work either. But in that moment, I recognized that they were doing whatever they needed to do to survive the moment. And in the way that I was training them, I was saying, do your best. But I kept pointing out every time they would say, what's going wrong, what's going wrong. I'd say the same things over and over again. You got to sleep more and you got to get more food in. And those were two things that they didn't feel like they could overcome at the moment. So they left and they went with somebody or something else that promised a different way and maybe an easier way. And I have to kind of decide in my mind, was I right or wrong? Could I have told them what I believed to be a lie? And, let them take an easy route like a fat burner, some kind of pill, do a shit ton of cardio and just strip muscle and fat off just to see the scale move. But no, I wouldn't do that to them because I love them too much as a friend. And I wouldn't ever want somebody to do that to me because it's detrimental to their long-term health. It might have made them feel okay in the short term, but it would have been detrimental long-term. So they might have been happy in the now, but in a year or two, they'd have been pissed off at me because they would have had a hell of a time losing any fat, building all that muscle back, and regaining control over their body. So I had to decide what I felt was right or wrong. Was I right with the choice I made? I have no freaking clue. That's life. Life is absolutely taking a big fat freaking guess based on whatever you know at the moment. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong, you don't really know. And sometimes you never find out. But that's stuff that I've had to experience as a trainer. And it's things that I've had to decide what was the standard that I would expect of myself as a trainer, hence telling the truth even when the truth hurts. And what was the standard of what I would expect for others. So I would have kept training that client even if they weren't going to fix their food and sleep because they were a friend. And I knew that what they were doing then was way better than if I were to get rid of them as a client and all of a sudden they weren't training, they weren't eating anything, and like it was better for them to work with a trainer, have some accountability, have some kind of game plan, and at least get maybe 70% of it right. That was a lot better than 0%. So I had to decide what was I going to do. And in that moment, I decided I was still going to tell them the truth, but I would never kick them out. I'd always take them, so that way they could get the best of what they had available. And it was their choice to leave. And there's nothing I can do about that. But that's what we have to do as trainers and as just good, healthy, good, normal, the way you should live kind of human beings, is what standard do we expect from other people? And firstly, are we living it ourselves? It's not right for me to expect something of other people that I won't do myself. That is not the right way to live life. It's unfair to other people and it's dishonest to yourself. And it's important to remember that just because you don't make the same mistake they do, it doesn't mean you don't make your own mistakes, because you do. The more you can be aware of the weakness in your life, the more you can understand and empathize with the weakness in other people's lives. It doesn't mean that either one of you have to accept those things. It just means you're going to be realistic about attacking them and addressing them. So, challenge yourself to grow in a weak area and use the lessons and the motivation you learn to teach others. And use the struggles, the emotions that you feel to empathize with other people. So that's going to help you keep a tough love balance with friends and family and relationships. And it's going to help you keep that tough love balance as a trainer. Okay? So do that. Really, really truly try it. So like I said, I've tried it myself where I picked things that I was not good at in life. And I tried to see, before I judge other people for not improving in the areas they're weak, let me try to improve myself in an area I'm weak first. Let me join in the struggle with them. Let me teach them from the front, not kicking them in the ass from behind, okay? So leaders lead from the front. That's what you want to do. If you're a trainer, if you want to be a leader in life, you got to lead from the front. Put yourself in the mix. Learn how to overcome and grow it, and then teach others what you did. That's the best way to approach life. Okay? Cool. Now, if you'd like to try any of this stuff and you need any help, always reach out to us. Our email is brutalironjim@gmail.com and we'll help you out. So if there's anything you're struggling with and you'd like some guidance or some kind of game plan, please reach out and we'll help you. Okay? Cool. If you like this information, you can find more from us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Brutal Iron Gym. Also, if you like the podcast, please share it with family and friends. The more people we help, the happier the world will be. And if you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. The podcast is for you, so we know what you want to learn about. And you can tell us at our email, brutalironjim@gmail.com. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.